I'm a senior member of the board, and isn't this a beautiful day to celebrate this beautiful facility that Drakeford. For many of us gathered here today to celebrate the opening of the Orange County Southern Library branch as the centerpiece of the Drakeford Library Complex, I think one word sums up our feelings: fight. And Ms. Levy, I'm sure that you will agree with that. The journey from a hope of Orange County Library branch in Southern Orange to the reality of seeing it built has been long and slow. In fact, some had told me they had lost hope of seeing it built in their lifetime. And I think some of those folks are here today.
Oh, yeah.
Discussion of the Southern Branch Library predates my election in 2010 and continued off and on until March 15, 2022, when the boards of Orange County and Carrboro approved the contract to move forward with this project. Along the way, several sites were considered, with an evolving focus on the parking lot at 203 South Greensboro Street in 2016, due to its central location and access to multiple bus routes. Other discussions centered around the need for an attached parking facility and whether it should be a standalone library or a multi-use facility to serve the larger community. And as you see, the decision was made, the correct decision was made to go to a multi-use facility. Many, including myself, had concerns over the ever-increasing cost of the project. But as I stated in a meeting to consider this project, the time of study and discussion was past. We were at a decision point and needed to approve the project, or clearly and definitively inform the community that it is no longer feasible and no further action would be taken. Thankfully, our board and Carrboro's board decided to move forward with this project. Our board, as well as Carrboro, approved moving forward with the project. And now, 3 years later, it is reality. A long and slow journey, yes, but well worth it in the end.
Thank you. It's so great to see so many friends and former and current elected officials. I can just feel the community spirit right here. So I'm Sally Green, County Commissioner. And I have the singular honor of having spoken as an elected official at the dedication of the expanded Chapel Hill Library 13 years ago. Now this one. At that ceremony, I quoted the writer Wells Tower, who had written a novel in the old version of the library. And he said, "Unlike a coffee shop or my living room, spending time reading or writing in a public library is not time stolen. I do not worry about freeing a table once my espresso has been finished. Because time reading and writing at the public library is time given to me by my community for that express purpose. It's time built into the very building itself as a civic down payment on my needs and those of the community." Now, this being Carrboro, I expect that there will be more writers working away in this library, writing and creating all kinds of wonderful things. There will be children pulling down board books and meetups happening in the meeting rooms. And as I look at this gorgeous building, I think maybe there will be a little 7 or 8 year old child who looks around and says, "I think I want to be an architect." But now, here in 2025, we're in a different place. We need a library. We need libraries for all the same reasons and more. I've been wearing a pin, and dang, I forgot today, that says, "Libraries Save Democracy." We agree, but actually, really, what does that mean? In 1938, FDR wrote to Herbert Putnam, the librarian of Congress, and said, "I have an unshakable conviction that democracy can never be undermined if we maintain our library resources and the national intelligence capable of using them." So here's an answer. Public libraries are the civic space that offers books and journals and more, all the knowledge in the world, basically, free for the taking and the learning. And as we know, knowledge is power.
Yeah.
Why else Why else is the Trump administration trying to shut down the Institute of Museum and Library Services? Through grants and research, IMLS helps libraries serve their communities. They might pay for programs, for example, like early childhood reading, or workshops that help people land jobs, say in cooperation with the Orange County Skills Development Center, co-located right in this Drakeford building. I'm very proud to be part of a county government that has the will and the means to build such a beautiful civic space and to support it ongoingly with our Carrboro partners here in this part of southern Orange County. Congratulations to everyone who's made it happen, especially Harris Levy, who has pursued this dream for 3 decades.
You just have to turn it really close. Have to make it awkwardly close.
Good morning, everyone. I am honored also to be here with you today as we celebrate the grand opening of this Drakeford Library Complex. I am Phyllis Portiascott, one of your Orange County Commissioners. One of the most exciting aspects of this facility is its role as home of the Orange County Skills Development Center and the NCWorks Career Center. Y'all, it is a center that I have just referred to one of my nephews, who is 20 years old, and needs some help with how to find a job. So I am grateful that it is opening today. These programs are vital resources for our community, providing job seekers with career counseling, training, and connections to employers, whether it's helping someone gain new job skills, like my nephew, to finding meaningful employment or advance in their careers. This center is a cornerstone for building economic resilience and fostering self-sufficiency. And for employers, NCWorks offers customized solutions to addressing staffing needs and skills gaps, ensuring that businesses strive alongside our residents. This partnership between education and workforce development reflects our shared vision for a stronger and more equitable future. So today, as we honor Dr. Robert Draper's legacy, a legacy rooted in equity and progress, I am confident that this complex will carry forward his vision by empowering individuals and strengthening our community. Thank you.
Good morning. Can you hear me all right? Thank you. So when I was a teenager, my very first job was as a page at a public library. So this is a big day for the community and also a day of memories for yours truly. I am Marilyn Carter. I represent District 1, the Orange County Commissioners, and I'm honored to be here. The Orange County Southern Branch Library, here alongside all the amenities of the impressive Drakeford Library Complex, will provide a space to nourish our minds and to learn more about our own community. It'll be a space where children can learn about leaders and histories that they connect with, and where they can also explore other worlds and cultures, natural history, and the feats of human engineering. Finally, it's a place where young people can imagine themselves and what they will accomplish, the great things ahead that they'll bring to our world and our community. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone, and my name is Amy Fowler. I'm one of the county commissioners, and hooray for libraries, books, education, and democracy. I'm here to talk about things that the library has besides books. They have board games, and if anyone knows me, they know I love to play Scrabble. So if anyone's up for a game of Scrabble, they do not have it here, but they can get it on loan from the main library, just like you can get many other things on loan from the main library as well. I'm happy to meet you for a game. They also have digital access to books through services like Libby and Hoopla, to also research databases, public computers, and free Wi-Fi. And the library also plans to host programs and events for all ages, from story times and book clubs to programs to promote lifelong learning. So please come and engage.
Yeah, it's still morning, so good morning, everyone. I'm Jean Hamilton, Vice Chair of the Orange County Board of County Commissioners. I will brief my colleagues who were enough to said wonderful things and details. I'm going to cut to the chase. This Drakeford Library Complex represents our tax dollars invested in the people of Orange County. These investments enhance work skills, education, and recreation of residents. These are the kind of investments that increase the productivity of our local economy, and that's not just through work skills, education, knowledge, and recreation, but also through creating a space that brings people together in community. Because as we know, working together, working stronger, we as Orange County are better. Thank you.
So I'm Jane Setta, and I had cataract surgery last week, so if I do this, I can see distance and see all really well. But like this, it's sort of, so I don't know why I even wrote a speech because I can't read it. But I remember the key elements, and Mayor Fishy already covered some of them. That was to thank the former boards. We have several commissioners and Carrboro Alderman at that point, who made the initial decision to fund this building and these programs. I also want to take a moment to thank the staff. I see some of our staff, some of Carrboro staff who helped build this building and then will continue the programming throughout the area. And then my little tidbit, we all had to have a little tidbit, is that Durham Tech Community College also has space, and they have a program for nurses' aides. You know, we have such a shortage across all areas of medicine, especially as we age. And so this is part of it. I don't know if anyone is here from Durham Tech. There we go. So we appreciate that partnership as well. And then, let's see, I'm trying. So I'm just wrapping up, and that is that we are so thrilled, just beyond thrilled, to be here to celebrate together with Carrboro and the community. And we look forward to many, many decades of education and services here at this building. And now I turn it over to Manager Tony.
Thank you so much, Chair Drakeford and the county commissioners. Before we introduce U.S. Congresswoman Valerie Fishy, I would like to offer the opportunity to our current Carrboro Town Council members, if they would like to come up to the microphone for a minute each to say a few words in honor. Mayor Pro Tem Now is in the back. I don't know if he wants to come up. It's not a requirement, but we do want to offer the opportunity for current Carrboro Town Council members to come up and just share a few words. I would recommend it. Thank you.
Hi everyone, good morning. I am Elisa Posada. My remarks are going to be in Spanish. So, este edificio es una combinación de trabajo de más de 3 décadas. Este edificio no solamente son servicios, son libros, son oportunidades para que nuestra comunidad pueda estar en comunidad. En este tiempo donde vemos tantos ataques hacia nuestra comunidad, a nuestra gente, espacios como la librería, como este complejo, son extremadamente importantes. Gracias a todos los participantes, a las personas que hicieron esto posible, y a todo el equipo del condado y de la ciudad. Thank you so much for all the staff, everyone who made this happen. Here's, thank you so much for your leadership. Gracias.
I just want to start off by quoting Dr. Carla Hayden, our Librarian of Congress, who said that libraries are the cornerstone of democracy.
All right. Yeah. All right.
So I'm just going to add a little bit of context for Naris and Dolly and Meg and Melva and all the folks who are Friends of the Library who had the original library task force. In 2005, then chair of the Board of County Commissioners, Moses Carey, and I had breakfast at Elmo's. And as a certified reading educator, I asked Moses how to go about resurrecting the library task force, and he said, write up a document, a statement, bring it to the Board of County Commissioners in 2006, and we will work to make it happen. And that night, I went up to Hillsborough with all the folks, Evelyn Daniels, and all the folks who are not even here. You see us. You see us. You see this. Drakeford is in your name as well. And the library task force was reconstituted as a result of the commissioners then, and each successive Board of County Commissioners lent their support, so that from the concept that was back in the 80s and 90s actually became this amazing complex that houses so much for all of us. So keep in mind that if you do not have your Southern Branch Library card, go get it reactivated, and remember that libraries are the cornerstone of democracy. Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here today. I have just a couple thoughts to add to what my colleagues have stated already. I'm Catherine Frey, I'm a member of the Town Council, and I joined the Town Council after this process had been set in motion, after the ground had been broken. But I'm so pleased to be carrying on that goal that started with the Friends of the Library and with others who, some of whom are not with us today, who have seen it finished. This building is a tie that connects folks who have had that dream of a public space for learning and for community, and that is going to connect us to future members of the Carrboro community who will have that same dream and carry it forward. The other thing that I wanted to note is I believe the commissioners have spoken on the fact that a library is an investment. And I just wanted to lift up that sentiment that Carrboro's as a community and the council is coming to a new consensus that is so valuable in the present day, that Carrboro and Orange County are communities that build, communities that support their residents, and that we have a duty to do right by our residents and to invest in them. So thank you for being here today to celebrate.
I will, in fact, come up from the back for just a minute. I'm Danny Nowell. It is an honor and pleasure to see you all here. I'm looking at the good life here. This is a shared space. I got a hall full of neighbors, mentors, friends. I got these light fixtures. And I think in a lot of ways it's been hard for a lot of us lately. What they want us to think is that this is not possible. They want us to think that we can't build this for each other. They want us to think that government doesn't do this. They want us to think that this doesn't exist and that we can't have it. And we're sitting at the end of a 40-year project trying to convince us that we can't be here today, and here we are. And it lifts my spirits. If you are here, you are lifting my spirits, and I needed it today. So thank you. And Let's fight for more of it.
I just want a yes hand. All these elected officials who are up here have pushed, but there are so many more of y'all out there that have pushed us. We are not the story. Valerie Fouché just told us in our legislative breakfast, I'm going to echo her. We are not the story here. Y'all pushing your elected officials. So I want to see where you push us next. Come out and push us more.
Thank you, County Commissioners. Thank you to the Carrboro Town Council for those words, for your investment in this beautiful space. Now, we would like to introduce our next speaker. So important to this community. She fights for us. It's U.S. Congresswoman Valerie Fouché. She is a lifelong resident of Orange County, and in 1974 graduated from Chapel Hill High School, as well as a graduate of the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill.
Go Hill.
Go Hill! Congresswoman Fouché retired from the Chapel Hill Police Department after 21 years of service. Her political career began when she was elected to the Board of Education for the Chapel Hill Carrboro Schools in 1997. She went on to become State Senator Fouché, where she tirelessly advocated for education reform in North Carolina. In 2022, she was elected to the United States of Congress, and she is serving her second term as the U.S. Representative for North Carolina's 4th Congressional District. This morning, she graced us with a legislative update with our council. She welcomed the mayor and I in D.C. to talk about legislative issues. She fights for us. In her own words, she is in these streets. So please welcome Congresswoman Fouché. Thank you so much for having me. I'm going to shorten my comments because a lot of what I was going to say has already been said. And I am certainly proud and happy to be here in this moment to the grand opening of the Drakeford Library Complex. I do want to say that there's a person who is here whose name has not been mentioned. Of course, he is in a group of all of these people who have championed this goal for a mighty long time. And I will say to you, the first time I voted for this complex or this idea of a complex was 20 years ago. I was a new commissioner, and people grabbed me to talk about this goal, this dream. The first one being Randy Haven O'Donnell. In the window of 411 West restaurant to tell me that we needed a freestanding library in Carrboro, and it needs to be called at that time the Carrboro Library. Don't try to do Chapel Hill West or anything. So I listened to her. And then it was shortly after that that Neris Levy came to a county commissioner meeting and reminded all of us again, it's time for a freestanding library in Carrboro. So the other person whose name I want to mention, who's sitting here, and I see him if you all don't see him, is former Commissioner Barry Jenkins. All right. But it should not be lost on any of us that it takes all of us to make a dream come true. And the fact that we did not let this dream die, even though this dream was deferred, we made sure that it happened. So I'm not going to say much more than that, except for I'm grateful for the vision of Dr. Bob Drakeford. I'm grateful for the vision of all of the people in this community that recognized the need and did not stop working to fulfill that need until the day of accomplishment. So thank you for your work. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of this situation. And let's enjoy. Remember, about that tennis game. Thank you, Secretary Christie. Thank you. Now, I won't take long, but next is the heirs, the people who are carrying on the legacy of the namesake to this library complex. Dr. Derek Drakeford is the son of Robert Drakeford, and he was his next.
Join in with me now, come on. One more time. With some soul, come on now. Give yourselves a hand now. Come on now. It's a celebration. This is a celebration. Listen, y'all have heard many accolades about my dad's contemporary accomplishments. He was an effective leader, a politician, and I want to acknowledge my mother here, Diane. My dad's support system. She meticulously archived and maintained news articles and historical pictures that we see today. And Catherine is so carefully Zoom copied. And you'll be able to see them as well. I also want to acknowledge my brother, Bobby Drakeford. Bobby is a great teacher, a great mentor. He did beat me up when I was little. And I want to acknowledge my gorgeous, gorgeous wife, Iris Drakeford. My wife is a therapist, and she was helping me out today. Listen, I'm here to shed light on how great of a dad my dad was. As a toddler, I remember putting my small feet into my dad's oversized shoes and trying to walk around. I would always fall because his shoes were too big to fill. My dad loved basketball. He was a scholarship athlete at Quinnipiac University, and later he coached my brother and my red basketball team when we were little. You think your dad being the coach, you'd get a little more playing time. But he wanted to win. I remember in high school, my brother, my Uncle Rodney and my dad were playing, and we finally beat him in basketball. And we roasted him for weeks and weeks and weeks. We were young and we bragged. But my dad, in all his winning, he never bragged. It meant a lot to me when my dad would sacrifice to come to my football games at Chapel Hill High School, just to watch me ride the bench. My dad loved his sons. 2 more memories, and I'm done. I can hear my wife in my ear saying, "Be brief and sit down." I remember when he was a professor at Auburn University, and I would go into the den of his office. I saw this old black and white picture of President Reagan sitting down at the center of the table in the Oval Office, and my father standing at the end of the table giving a presentation on behalf of the National Conference of Black Mayors. He served as their vice president, and they felt he was the best orator to give the presentation. I would stare at the details of this picture for hours. There was the most powerful man on the planet, sitting down, listening to my father. No pressure. Lastly, and probably most important to me, my dad was passionate about mentoring. He wrote his dissertation on mentoring, and you can read it here at the Drakeford Library Complex. My dad had a wild idea while working at North Carolina A&T to take low-income youth living in housing projects in Greensboro, take them to the beach for a nature for a nature and camping experience. And he would solicit my Uncle Neil and his other friends as mentors to these young, rambunctious kids. And he had me go with him because I was young. I remember being in the school bus riding from Greensboro to the beach. And I'm gonna tell you, these kids were rambunctious. They wouldn't listen to the bus driver, they wouldn't listen to the counselor, they wouldn't listen to nobody. And then we got to the camp and everybody got in a circle and my dad started speaking. And it was like magic. All these kids who were once rambunctious gave him full attention. He used vocal tone and inflection and seriousness and love, and he reached the souls of each one of these kids. And at the end of that week, they were able to commune with nature, learn how to sail, learn how to camp, create fires. And my dad's legacy is really mentoring. And my last message to you is that there's a young person out there today that needs you. Take them to lunch to split a burger. Take them to the library to read a book with them. But we have to be parents to more than just our own kids. That's what mentoring is. So I'm going to finish this as I began. Give me some soul. Where the grandparents at? Everybody say amen. 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 Let the ancestors hear you. Come on, one more time. Everybody say amen. 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 Somebody say Carrboro!
Thank you so much, Dr. Drakeford, for those remarks. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Our poet laureate is here and wanted to offer a poem, and then we will close out. So we will have Ms. Liza and the Carrboro way.
Hi, everyone. I wrote this for the library. In the beginning, it is said that all came alive with letters. If the letters made into words are collected in books, all that exists, all that has been, and all that could be must be held in books as well. Books hold the voices of people and lift up stories that might not be heard or remembered. I see why they're collected and why they are banned. They contain history, ideas, experiences, dreams and daydreams, hopes and ideas for the future. They hold each of our spirits of wonder. In picking up a book, we begin to hear the lives and stories of others and to realize who we are and who we could be in this world. Maybe we begin in a land with dragons or queens or heroes and villains, or as part of a community. Maybe we see ourselves as rabbits or dogs or lions or lambs or goats, or as the star of the story, or as the moon. And maybe we wonder about what we might make of our own lives, of this life we share with each other. When we lose ourselves in a book, we come back
to plan our next adventure, our next move. We come back to save the world. These are daring, system-breaking, empire-crashing roles. Yes, that makes us dangerous. If going to the library means walking among shelves of books, quieting ourselves among people in a quiet space, enjoying silence in a loud world, selecting a book to sit and read, to get lost in, to come back from stronger, with more ideas, more wonder, more sense of self, more sense of belonging and of community, we should definitely do that. If we can get all of that from letters into words, into books, into a library, we should read and visit our library every day. We should read the books and the stories, wave at our neighbors and friends, smile at the librarians, and we should all say thank you, and more please, more letters, more words, more books, more libraries, more please. Thank you so much. It's beautiful, beautiful.
So as we conclude our program, I want to recognize the development team, Perkins and Will Architects, and the Barnhill Contracting Company. Are they here? Yes, also would like to recognize our staff in the town of Carrboro. They are absolutely amazing and should be recognized for all of their work. Capital Project Manager Mike Johnson is back there, and members from our management office are here. Wave your hands. Planning, IT, Recreation and Parks, who occupies space in this building as well, and also she helps write these scripts, but she never acknowledges herself. But our communications and engagement director and team, Pat and they're doing an amazing job and instrumental in setting up this program here. So I know everyone is eager to begin exploring the wonderful facility. Refreshments from Open Eye Cafe and Neil's Deli are situated on the 3rd floor. So let's thank them for the donation of those. There are 2 downtown businesses and many, and we really thank the businesses for being patient with us through the construction. It's a burden anytime you have construction projects and it impacts their business, but we appreciate all of your patience as we are here today and we are celebrating the opening of this great facility. So we have tours available, so please check at the information desk and connect with the tour guide to walk you through the special features of the Drakeford Library. Of course, you can do self-guided tours, but it's kind of great to hear from a tour guide about the intention of these spaces. So thank you all so much for joining us, and we will do a ribbon cutting outside, so please, all elected officials, please join us outside and any others that want to be. Thank you all. Take care.